In this video, we will discuss the pathological features in acute viral hepatitis and chronic viral hepatitis. So let's start with the acute viral hepatitis. On gross specimen of a liver affected by acute viral hepatitis, in mild cases, you see the liver appears normal or slightly mottled. Why it appears slightly mottled? Because when the viral hepatitis is mild in severity, then the necrosis or damage of the liver parenchyma occur in the form of small spots. So these small spots of damage to the liver parenchyma appear as mottled appearance. Secondly, in cases of massive necrosis in acute viral hepatitis, the liver may appear shrunken because in massive necrosis, a significant part of liver parenchyma has been destroyed, so the liver will appear shrunken. Now let's come to the microscopic features of acute viral hepatitis. For microscopic features, the keywords to remember are lobular hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and inflammation. Lobular hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and inflammation. So the first keyword is lobular hepatitis. This implies that in acute viral hepatitis, the pattern of necrosis and inflammation is known as lobular hepatitis. Lobular hepatitis means that the necrosis and inflammatory cells are present in the form of spots throughout the lobule. So you can see this is the lobule, hepatocytic lobule, this is the central vein, and this is the portal tract at the corner of this hepatocytic lobule. So you can see here there is a spot of necrosis and these are inflammatory cells. Here is another spot of necrosis and there are inflammatory cells. Here there is an area of apoptosis. So the areas of cell injury are present scattered or in the form of spots throughout the lobule. This pattern is known as lobular hepatitis. And this is in contrast to the interface hepatitis, which is present in chronic viral hepatitis but is not present in acute viral hepatitis. Now what does the interface hepatitis mean? So interface hepatitis means that the necrosis and inflammatory cells are present in this area, that is the interface between this hepatocytic parenchyma and this portal stroma. So at the interface between this hepatocytic parenchyma and this portal stroma, at this interface, which is labeled here, there is no inflammation, there is no areas of cell injury. This is known as interface hepatitis, which is absent in acute viral hepatitis. So you can see here there is minimum inflammation and there is minimum area of cell damage. Secondly, relating to this point is another point that portal inflammation is also minimum in lobular pattern of hepatitis. Portal inflammation means that the inflammatory cells are present in this portal tract. So you can see here, you see minimum amount of these inflammatory cells. So in acute viral hepatitis, the portal inflammation is minimum. There is no interface hepatitis in this area. And the pattern of injury is lobular hepatitis, which means that the areas of cell injury and the inflammatory cells are scattered throughout the hepatocytic lobule. So hope our first keyword is clear now. Now the next keyword is characterized by hepatocytic injury. Now this injury to hepatocytes can appear in these three ways. The first is ballooning degeneration. What does the ballooning degeneration means? You know that whenever there is cell injury, then due to the cell injury, there is resultant cytotoxic edema in which the cells become swollen. So ballooning degeneration means that the cells appear swollen like a balloon, and degeneration means that the inside matter of the cell has been started to degenerate. So for example, here you can see an area of ballooning degeneration in which due to the edema, the hepatocyte has been swollen and the internal contents of the cell has been degenerated. So this is known as ballooning degeneration. The second way in which this hepatocytic injury can appear is in the form of necrosis, and this necrosis is spotty necrosis throughout the lobule. So as I already mentioned here in the description of lobular hepatitis, that the areas of damage are scattered in the form of spots throughout the lobule. So you see spotty necrosis throughout the lobule. And how does this necrosis appear? This necrosis appears as dropout of hepatocytes along with scavenging macrophages. Dropout of hepatocytes means that the hepatocytes will be simply absent from the area where there has been necrosis. So you can see here there are no hepatocytes in this area. So this is an area of dropout. Here again there are no hepatocytes in this chain. So it is an area of dropout. So you see necrosis as dropout of hepatocytes, and along with the dropout of hepatocytes there are scavenging macrophages. So what happens is that when there has been necrosis and due to the necrosis the necrotic debris occurs as a result, the macrophages come here and try to phagocytose the necrotic material. So you see scavenging macrophages at the areas of these dropout necrosis. So these are macrophages here, they are macrophages at the areas of a dropout. So necrosis is visible as dropout of hepatocytes along with scavenging macrophages. Now the third way in which hepatocytic injury can appear is apoptosis. And you already know from your concepts of general pathology that apoptosis appears as shrunken cell with hypereosinophilia and pycnotic nucleus. Hypereosinophilia means that the cells appear hypereosinophilic. Why? Because its nucleus and the basophilic rough endoplasmic reticulum starts to degenerate, which makes the cells hypereosinophilic. And pycnotic nucleus means that the nucleus is in the process of degeneration. So here you can see this is an apoptotic body. Why it is an apoptotic body? We know because in apoptosis there is hypereosinophilia like this, there is a shrunken cell like this, and the nucleus of such cell is in the process of degeneration. For example, here no nucleus is visible here. So this is an apoptotic body, and this apoptotic body is also labeled as acidophilic degeneration. Why do we call it as acidophilic degeneration? Because it is appearing hypereosinophilic, that's why it is known as acidophilic. So let me summarize, how do you see the hepatocytic injuries? The hepatocytic injury is visible either as ballooning degeneration, it is visible either as necrosis present in the form of dropout of hepatocytes plus scavenging macrophages, or this hepatocytic injury is visible in the form of apoptosis with shrunken cell, hypereosinophilia and pycnotic nucleus. So this is all what you need to know about hepatocytic injury. Now our third keyword is lobular hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and inflammation. So inflammation is our third keyword. And by inflammation I wanted to clear a point that in acute viral hepatitis the inflammatory cells are mononuclear cells, and these mononuclear cells include lymphocytes, macrophages or monocytes and plasma cells. So these are the inflammatory cells which are present in acute viral hepatitis. Now here is a slightly confusing point for some people, that they think that acute viral hepatitis is an acute infection, so they should see an infiltration of neutrophils. But the point to clear here is that in viral infections, even though they are acute, they are characterized by infiltration of mononuclear cells rather than the neutrophils. So rather than seeing a predominance of neutrophils, you see a predominance of these mononuclear cells that are lymphocytes, macrophages or monocytes and plasma cells. Second point is that you know that acute viral hepatitis can caused by hepatitis A, B, C, D and E. But if the acute viral hepatitis is being caused by hepatitis A, then in hepatitis A there is a special predominance of plasma cells. So along with all these cells that are lymphocytes, macrophages or monocytes and plasma cells, these plasma cells are very abundant in hepatitis A. But as far as the hepatitis other than hepatitis A are concerned, then they contain all these inflammatory cells. But in hepatitis A, the point to understand was that hepatitis A has a special predominance of plasma cells. So remember this point, it can come in MCQs. So now let me summarize all the microscopic features. Our keywords was lobular hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and inflammation. Lobular hepatitis means that in acute viral hepatitis, the pattern of injury and inflammation is lobular and there is no interface hepatitis at this interface area, and the portal inflammation in the portal tract is also minimum. Secondly, the hepatocytic injury can be visible in the form of ballooning degeneration, in the form of dropout necrosis and scavenging macrophages, and in the form of acidophilic degeneration or apoptosis. Thirdly, as far as the inflammation was concerned, this inflammation is characterized by infiltration of mononuclear cells that are lymphocytes, macrophages or plasma cells. But in hepatitis A, the special predominance is those of these plasma cells. So hepatitis A has a special predominance of plasma cells. So these are the morphological features of acute viral hepatitis. Now regarding acute viral hepatitis, there is an additional point, that how does the morphology of severe acute hepatitis appears. So all the features of acute viral hepatitis which we discussed are of those that are of mild to moderate severity, and most of the hepatitis are usually like this. But if hepatitis is very severe, then this severe acute hepatitis is visible either as a confluent zone of necrosis around central veins or as central to portal bridging necrosis. Confluent zone of necrosis around central veins means that instead of finding necrosis in the form of small spots just like you see here, you find a large area of necrosis around the central veins. So in severe acute hepatitis, the necrosis is present as a large confluent area around the central vein, or it may present as central to portal bridging necrosis. Central to portal bridging necrosis means that the areas of necrosis are present as a bridge between the central vein and portal tract. So in severe acute hepatitis, you either see a confluent zone of necrosis around central veins or you see central to portal bridging necrosis. Now after acute viral hepatitis, let's come to the pathological features in chronic viral hepatitis. So for chronic viral hepatitis, the keywords to remember are lobular plus interface hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and chronic inflammation. You know that in acute viral hepatitis, we studied that the keyword was lobular hepatitis. But here in chronic viral hepatitis, the keyword is lobular plus interface hepatitis. Second keyword in acute viral hepatitis was hepatocytic injury, and it is the same here in chronic viral hepatitis. The third keyword in acute viral hepatitis was inflammation, but here as there is chronic viral hepatitis, so we have specifically used the word chronic inflammation. So remember these keywords of chronic viral hepatitis, that you see lobular plus interface hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and chronic inflammation. Now the first keyword is lobular plus interface hepatitis. So what does this mean? This means that there is involvement of lobules as well as the interface of lobules. You know that in acute viral hepatitis, we studied that the areas of necrosis were present in the form of small spots throughout the hepatocytic lobule, and the interface hepatitis was absent in acute viral hepatitis. But in chronic viral hepatitis, the interface hepatitis is present as a defining or characteristic feature. And what does this interface hepatitis mean? Again, the interface hepatitis means that the areas of cell injury are present at the interface of hepatocytic parenchyma in the lobules and the stroma of this portal tract. So at this interface, you will see a lot of inflammatory cells and a lot of cell damage. So this pattern is known as interface hepatitis. And sometimes this interface hepatitis is also known as piecemeal necrosis. What is it called? It is also known as piecemeal necrosis. So remember that in chronic viral hepatitis, other than this lobular involvement, there is involvement of interface as well. That is known as lobular plus interface hepatitis. Secondly, portal inflammation is a defining feature in chronic viral hepatitis. You know that when we studied acute viral hepatitis, we studied that here in the portal tract, the inflammatory cells are minimum or absent. But in chronic viral hepatitis, this portal inflammation is a defining feature. I am sorry that I have not drawn the diagram of chronic viral hepatitis here. But if you have seen the diagram of acute viral hepatitis, you can imagine the diagram of chronic viral hepatitis by yourself, or you can see it from a textbook also, that there are a lot of inflammatory cells in the portal tract stroma. This is a defining feature of chronic viral hepatitis. So by lobular plus interface hepatitis, we mean involvement of lobules as well as interface and involvement of portal tracts in the form of inflammation. Now the second keyword is characterized by hepatocytic injury, and again this hepatocytic injury can appear as apoptotic bodies, just like we see in acute viral hepatitis that this apoptosis appear as shrunken hypereosinophilic cells with degenerated nucleus. Or you see necrosis in the form of dropout areas, as we studied in acute viral hepatitis, that the areas of necrosis appear as dropout areas surrounded by scavenging macrophages. So you can see apoptosis and necrosis in the chronic viral hepatitis also. But here there are two specific points in chronic viral hepatitis. You know that the chronic viral hepatitis is mainly caused by hepatitis B or hepatitis C. And there are some differentiating features among this hepatitis B and hepatitis C. So let's study this. For hepatitis B, the specific characteristic feature is ground glass hepatocytes. Ground glass hepatocyte means that the cytoplasm of the affected hepatocytes appear in the form of small granules in the form of ground glass. So these are the ground glass hepatocytes. And why do these granular appearance occur? These granules are actually due to the swollen endoplasmic reticulum containing hepatitis B surface antigen protein. So remember that the ground glass appearance in hepatitis B is due to hepatitis B surface antigen protein. And arising from this concept, there is again a very important point, that this hepatitis B surface antigen can be stained by immunohistochemical techniques. So remember that you can perform immunohistochemistry to identify this hepatitis B surface antigen in cases of hepatitis B. Now as far as the hepatitis C is concerned, the characteristic feature here is lymphoid aggregate. You know that in chronic viral hepatitis, the inflammatory cells are lymphocytes or macrophages, etc. But specifically in cases of hepatitis C, the lymphocytes start to form clustered or aggregates that are known as lymphoid aggregates. Secondly, in the hepatitis C, you can also see the fatty change in affected hepatocytes. This fatty change appear as microvesicles or macrovesicles of fat in the hepatocytes. So remember that hepatitis B has the specific characteristic feature of ground glass hepatocytes, and hepatitis C is characterized by lymphoid aggregates and fatty change. So this was all you need to know about hepatocytic injury. Now the third keyword is Lobular plus interface hepatitis characterized by hepatocytic injury and chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation is our third keyword, and here by chronic inflammation you need to remember both the inflammatory cells as well as fibrosis. So as far as the inflammatory cells are concerned, then similar to acute viral hepatitis, the inflammatory cells here are mononuclear cells that are lymphocytes, macrophages or plasma cells. But what is the difference? The difference is that in chronic viral hepatitis, there is significant portal inflammation. Portal inflammation, as I already told, it means that the inflammatory cells are present in these areas of portal tract. And I mentioned this point here also, that portal inflammation is the defining feature of chronic viral hepatitis. So remember that in chronic inflammation or chronic viral hepatitis, you see significant portal inflammation, but the inflammatory cells are those that are also present in acute viral hepatitis. Secondly, you know that all cases of chronic inflammation can cause development of fibrosis or scarring. So you also see fibrosis. Now this fibrosis is present initially in the portal tracts. So these are the portal tracts. So you can see fibrosis initially in these areas. But as the condition progresses, this fibrosis is present as a bridge between portal tracts. So this fibrosis will appear in between the adjacent portal tracts like this. And lastly, you know that the end product of chronic hepatocytic injury and chronic scarring is cirrhosis. We have already discussed the cirrhosis in a separate video. So remember that hepatitis B and hepatitis C can cause cirrhosis. So these are all the microscopic features in chronic viral hepatitis. Let me summarize. Our first key was lobular plus interface hepatitis, which meant that there is involvement of lobules as well as interface. And portal inflammation is the defining feature of chronic viral hepatitis. Secondly, as far as the hepatocytic injury was concerned, it is present as apoptosis or largely as dropout areas of necrosis. And the specific features in hepatitis B and hepatitis C was that hepatitis B is characterized by ground glass hepatocytes due to hepatitis B surface antigen, and hepatitis C is characterized by lymphoid aggregates and fatty change. Last keyword was chronic inflammation. So you see chronic inflammatory cells that are mononuclear cells, and these are present significantly in the portal tracts. This is known as significant portal inflammation. So remember, portal inflammation is the defining feature of chronic viral hepatitis. It is absent in acute viral hepatitis. Secondly, this chronic inflammation was visible as fibrosis that was initially in the portal tracts, but then it progresses between the adjacent portal tracts. And lastly, some cases of hepatitis can show the appearance of cirrhosis. So this concludes the pathological features of acute and chronic viral hepatitis.